Okay, we're back. I pushed the wrong button or something. Everything just went off. But we're back now, so everything's good. Hello, guys. I'm going to wait till some people get in the room. It's Ted E. Fame, formerly of Tony Williams Platters, from 1982 to 1992, until Tony's passing. Our second tenor, all over the world. So I'm going to get into, I'm going to talk a lot about that, but I'm just going to hang out for a minute, see if we get some people to join us. There's a link if you'd like to join me. Yes, see, there it is. That's all. So we're gonna hang out for a while, for a few minutes, and wait for some people to come in. If some people come in, is the link in there? That's the link. What's today? Friday. It's a Friday. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna wait to say that. That's some things I can say. Well, we'll hang out for a few minutes. People want to join me. They can come in, and we'll talk. But you know what? I still like talking. Still nothing wrong with that. Today is Friday, September 1st. The fact that it's September 1st is very important to me. Extremely important to me. September 1st, this happens to be my birthday. So say happy birthday to me. I've been getting a lot of happy birthdays on social media. The you the Facebook, as they say, the Facebook, and the uh, Instagram. I don't know, man. Lately, I've been kind of. By the way, I turned 64. 64 years old today. I turned 64. But I was gonna say, I don't want to say that because I don't want to sound like I'm old. I don't want to accept that I'm getting old, but we're getting old. I should look at it as something to be thankful for, because a lot of people didn't make it this far. A lot of people I knew personally going through the industry with me are not here and didn't make it to this age. So I should act more thankful, which I am, and I'm grateful that I lived this long. Do I expect to live 64 more years? Highly unlikely. That would make me 128. Bang. Who wants to be? I don't know if anybody wants to live that long. I mean, if I'm like this, if I look like this, if I still look like this, and I feel like this, because I don't feel like, even though I'm at this age, I don't feel like anything physically has been inhibited it as as far as doing okay, not really athletic stuff. I can't. I ain't playing no full court basketball. I ain't dunking no basketball. You know, those days are gone. You know, if I could still touch the rim, I feel like that's an accomplishment. But I still feel energetic. I do. I did notice on my vocals, my voice. Sometimes I have trouble hitting high notes that I didn't have trouble hitting before. Meaning that I'm not getting enough breath to hit those notes. There's a certain amount of breath you have to be able to sustain to hit certain notes in the higher head tones, you know, in my natural voice. In my natural voice, I I'm a I can go up to a B, possibly a C above middle C. Yeah, in my natural voice. Um, I don't know if I can do C anymore, but I could definitely do a B flat. I still got that B flat range, so I can definitely still do that. But there's a times I could hit a C sharp. Yeah, I could actually hit a C sharp in my natural. You can't do that anymore. Um, yes, my front door, so people are walking by, so you might hear some music from my radio or something. Yeah, we're gonna talk today about my relationship with Tony and the Platters. On my last live, I talked about how I joined the Platters and my first performance with the Platters. So I think in this live, I'm gonna get a little more personal and talk about my relationships with the members of the group. So Helen Williams, Tony's wife, she actually, she also actually functioned as the manager of the group, and she was her primary job, besides singing, she wasn't a good singer, a very good. She was a passable singer. And you'll see that on some of these videos if you go back to my playlist and see some of the videos of me with the Platters and Tony Williams. You'll see her, Helen. You'll see her. She's Tony's wife, and she took the place of Zola Taylor's part, and I'm the second tenor. So you know the classic lineup for the Platters would be Tony to the far right, then next to him is Helen, then I'm second tenor. I will be in the middle, and then the baritone Ricky, and at the far end will be the bass singer. And we either have Bob Rivers or George Reed. George Reed. There are two bass singers that we will alternate. So it depends on where we're going and who's available. That's how that would work as far as the bass singers sing. So with that group now, everybody in the group who I just mentioned is at least 15 to 20 years older than me. So when I joined the group, I was 22, and I think the youngest person in the group was probably Ricky, and he was like 45. I think yeah, around 45 when I joined the truck. But there, he's like 20 something years older than me. So I didn't relate to them in terms of friendly. It was more of a working business kind of things, respect them as who they were, but I didn't like hang out with them. Matter of fact, some of the musicians that was in the group now, they were more closer to my age. The drummer, Joe Ham, he was like in his late 20s. Who else? The guitar player, Zuzu, he was in his he was closer to my age, the middle 20s, maybe a little bit older than me. Um, oh, and Hella's nephew, no, nephew, Hella's grandson, Troy, who was actually the same age as me. And he was more like a roadie, 'cause we had a road manager, um, and who was basically the road manager would basically cater to Tony and what the group needed, and so we had some helpers and roadies, and Helen made her grandson Troy with a roadie, so he would be traveling with, especially when we go overseas. He would be traveling with the group. Uh, so my relationship with the members was more of a just showtime, and if we going to dinner or something together, if we eating dinner or something together, or going to the show, or hanging out in the dressing room before the show. But when we're not working and we're on the road, we're touring, but we're not working, they will be more stay to themselves in their rooms. And I'm the young kid, so I want to get out and explore. So I would go and get one of the musicians who were closer to my age, and we would go out on a day off, and depending on where we at. And during that time, we were traveling overseas a lot, so we would go to Asia, Europe, all the Caribbeans, all over the Caribbeans, and so I got a chance to travel and see a lot of the world. I got to see places that I never thought I would see, experiences that I would have never, ever, ever experienced if I wasn't a member of that group. So I am thankful that I was actually a member of the Platters for the opportunity to do that. I mean, those are opportunities that don't come by. You're lucky to get. So I've been lucky in my whole. I don't know if you want to call it luck. I've been fortunate to have been in the right place at the right time on numerous occasions that have propelled me in my career forward to this day. On my birthday, being 64 years old. Hey, how do I look? This is a 64-year-old man. I still work out, go to the gym, eat right, you know, try to live as healthy as I can. Drink a lot of water. Drink a lot of water. I might have. I only, I don't drink any alcohol except I might have a glass of wine, 1 or 2 glasses of wine. That's the max. Max is 2 glasses, and I get a lot of rest. And you know, it's funny thinking about it now, but this is the age that Tony Williams passed. He was actually 64 years old when he died. By that time he passed, he was in terrible health. He done had a couple of strokes. He had a lot of conditions wrong, a lot of stuff wrong. And the voice was, no, it was, it was sad. And, it makes me think, is there an age where you should stop performing and singing? Because even lately, I see a few of these artists out here performing in advanced ages. I'm talking about in their 70s. And it ain't the same, man. Your voice is gone. You can't sing like that because those records, those R&B soulful records, those was youthful records. That was for a youthful voice. Stevie Wonder can't sing like Stevie Wonder, who made those songs in the 70s. So if you go on there, and he don't look like that Stevie. So if you go on there for the experience, if you've never seen him before, that's one thing. But if you if you've seen him at his prime and his best, you don't really want to go see them after they reach senior citizenship. Senior citizenship. They should retire. You got enough memories. You got the records. You got the CDs. You got the videos, all that stuff. Seeing them at their best. So that's why I think transitions, because you have to, especially as with singers, especially with singers. I don't know, maybe musicians can get away with it more, but singers with an instrument, for example, your vocals, that's a musical instrument. Just like a piano and guitar, just a musical instrument. The only difference is if you break a string on that guitar or that piano, you can replace it. If you break that guitar, okay, you can replace it. If either one of those things happen to your voice, it's a wrap. And just like with anything you use constantly, you get wear and tear on it. That's why with instruments, you have to always keep retuning it, restringing them, because the wear and tear on makes it as less efficient or less proficient as it was when it was new. Or with your voice, you can't just go get a new voice. So with your voice, the most important thing is rest. Rest. Not overusing it. And a lot of these artists, especially the big ones with hit records and multiple hit records, they're on tour probably 200 to 250 days out of a year. And if you're doing that for 20, 30 years, trust me, you've lost some luster to your voice. And you're never gonna get that back. Go look at any of these artists that are in their later years. There's some out there. I'll give you one example. And I'm gonna mention this particular artist only because I seen a video recently, and I said he needs to retire. It's done. And that artist is Frankie Beverly from Maze, featuring Frankie Beverly. He's got to be about 70 something years old, mid 70s. His voice is done, done. And his voice is done from just the wear and tear and the constant work that he's put on his voice. And the type of songs that he sings and the way he sings those songs, it takes a lot. It works on your vocal a lot. And yeah, he's done. He's done. He's done. So Tony was like that in those last years. Tony should not have been performing. Actually, to be honest with you, I remember the first rehearsal we had, I had it with the Platters. And the first time I heard Tony's voice, I was shocked. I couldn't believe it. I said, that's Tony Williams? That's the guy who made those, who had the voice was already gone. This is in 1982. But he can muster it up every once in a while and get a pretty good performance. Not a great, not those performances he did back in the 50s. We're talking about the 80s, so that was in the early 90s. By 1990, it was embarrassing being on stage. And already by that time, I was looking for my way out. And I got, thank goodness, eventually, I got an opportunity. And it was because being with the Platters to get out the group and move on with my career. And it just so happens, it just coincided within months Tony passing. Me leaving the group a couple of months, leaving the group a couple months later, Tony passed. That happened. Well, you know what? Nobody showed up. And I'll save that story for another time. Or then I'll post again. I'm gonna go back on Monday. So I'm gonna do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So days I'll go live. And we'll just call it, and basically some of you Platter fans start joining me. I'll continue putting the link in the description so that if you want to join me in the chat live, you're more than welcome. So, with that being said, and it's already been 30 minutes or 30 something. So, I'm going to bid you guys adieu. Sign out. Ciao. Until we meet again. Until Monday. This is Ted E. Fame, formerly of Tony Williams Platters from 1982 to 1990. Second tenor. Wishing you guys love, peace, and happiness. Now see you again, okay? One.